Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Be Careful What You Ask For. This happened back in the 90s. I was a maintenance worker for a local community. Now there are about 30 in our group of workers assigned to different departments, and I've been bounced around from one to another for various reasons. I tend to have a smart mouth at times, and my replies tend to get the bosses angry. So for whatever reason, on this particular day I somehow got the superintendent, so my boss's boss, mad at me. I was pulled from my assignment and told to meet the super for a new job. Well, we have a community bridge where I worked, and the kids used to spray paint graffiti on it constantly, so I was told to paint the bridge. I was dropped off with paint, brushes, rollers and nothing else, so no radio to call for anything. This was in the early part of the day. I wasn't told to bring my lunch or anything to drink. So off I go to paint over the graffiti. I've been painting for a few hours by brush. Since I figured it was a punishment for something, I might as well take my time doing it, as the weather was perfect. Now 1.5 hours after what should have been my lunchtime, the super dries up. He gets out with another boss and comes to inspect what I've been painting all day. He starts screaming at me, asking what the heck have I been doing all day. I told him I have been painting like I was instructed to. He calls me a liar and said that I've done nothing but mess around all day. Well, no, that's not true at all, as I did in fact paint the bridge. However, I painted the backside of the bridge that faced out into a field and not the side that people can view when crossing the bridge. He was angry at me. I looked at the other boss, who was laughing. He knew that I had a habit of doing what I'm told, just not the way that they expected it to be done. My response to the super was, well, if you wanted me to paint the inside of the bridge, you should have directed me to do so. You said paint over the graffiti, which I did. You, however, gave me poor directions, and now you are mad about it. I had to spend the rest of the week painting the entire bridge. The next story is called Technically Not Late. This happened during my first IT job. I was responding to level 1 technical issues over the phone. We had this in-browser panel for logging in and out of the queue. When you were ready to take calls, you clicked a button to start. When you were going for a break, 5 minutes every hour plus 15 minutes lunch, you hit pause. The same goes for stop, leaving work. On a typical day, I would get to work on time, turn the computer on, log into the voice over IP system, and after, let's say 2 minutes of all of that, start taking calls. My supervisor didn't like it. He said that I'm supposed to start answering the phone at 8 sharp. And that my work time starts only after I log in, not when I come to work. A little back and forth, and I decided, fine. I told him I will log in precisely at 8. Here's the thing about that web panel, you can manipulate it not only by using your mouse. You could also use a JavaScript code that selects an HTML element and clicks it. So, over the day, I made such a script. I would leave my laptop on for the night and activate the script. The browser window remained open. The next day I wasn't there at 8, but I was logged in. My program detected the 8 mark and clicked me into the queue. Of course, if I didn't answer the phone, I would get in trouble. So 1 second later, it clicked again, this time on the pause button. I calmly went into the room, made myself a cup of coffee, had a little chat with coworkers and logged back in at 8:15. It took 4 working days for my supervisor to notice this, and that's only because someone mentioned it to him. We had a very short conversation. He said that I can come to work at 8 and start whenever I'm ready, but I cannot tell my coworkers about this trick. I'm pretty sure he would have fired me if he could, but he didn't really have any legal reason. I left the company after the first contract, 3 months, since I figured I'm better than this. As I said, it was my first real IT job, and I have gotten some more serious offers since then. I didn't do all of this just to be able to come to work late. I was trying to point out how ridiculous that login system was. The last story is called If You Don't Like It, Just Leave. When I was in school, about 14 years old, we got a new art teacher. Our previous one was amazing. She used to be a famous painter in our state that wanted to teach in her free time and paint just for pleasure. She taught us the basic techniques while encouraging us to create and experiment. She also implemented an art fair in our school, kind of like a science fair. We had one big theme and each grade had a sub-theme that would fit. The students used to split into groups and come up with an idea that would use some of the material in our curriculum. But we still had a lot of freedom to create. We would have to clear it with her, and she helped us with ideas, materials and guidance. The fair had been going for years, and it was one that parents actually liked to attend, going back to it even after the kids already left the school. It's important to note that the school was really not a big one. My grade was the last one that was taught there, and we only had 20 to 30 students per grade. So we had all classes together and we all knew each other well. The awesome teacher's health wasn't that good anymore and she retired. In comes a new teacher. From the get-go, she seemed to be intimidated and full of hatred for our previous teacher. She would talk badly about our previous teacher's work. She would say that what we learned was useless, and that everything we were doing was bad and wrong since we never were taught any better and things like that. We already didn't like her, but it was our last year there and we weren't confrontational. Then the time for the art fair comes up. We are excited. Our whole theme is art from our country and each grade got specific states. The one my grade got has a really rich culture with characteristic clothes and dances. We were excited and started organizing ourselves. Then the new teacher tells us that none of that is going to be presented. She wants us to split into groups of twos and make sort of a painting, using paper mache and trapping objects of that state in it. We were like, but we want to present the dance. We already talked with someone who has the clothes for us to borrow to present in a living statue. We want to do more. And she went on this rant about how our old teacher used to let us do anything, but we were not following the curriculum and it was ridiculous. That she knew what was best for us and we were all brats. That the old teacher made the art fair become a laughing matter and she would not have it. We tried presenting our reasons. We said that having over 10 of the exact same thing was not going to represent the culture of the state. It would be boring to look at and that we didn't mind doing it if we could also do more. She got angrier and angrier with us trying to talk to her. She ended up saying, "This is my class and if you don't like it, you can leave." So of course we left. All of us just got up and left. We went straight to our principal's office, which was tiny. She agreed to see us and it was a mess. All of us teenagers felt that we were not being treated fairly, complaining about our teacher all at once. Our teacher finally showed up, crying. Our principal asked us to wait outside of her office. Finally, 3 of us were invited back inside, where our version was asked. The teacher was still there, and we explained what happened and what we wanted, with her crying in the corner and sobbing all the time. I'm glad to say that none of us let that make us back away, and the principal didn't allow it either. We reached a compromise. We would make sure to have at least 5 of those hideous paintings she wanted. But we would still be allowed to do everything else we wanted. The fair itself was horrible. Our class was the only one allowed to do anything different. So every room just had things hanging on the wall, all looking similar to each other. We had typical food from that state for people to snack on, dances and other things. Plus 5 of those paintings in our corner that no one paid attention to. It didn't take 2 more years for the art fair to stop happening, since it didn't get attendance from the public anymore. The parents complained about the waste of time, plus the waste of money the school had hosting it. Unfortunately, nothing happened to the teacher. Sometimes I really wonder how people like that can become teachers. What do you think? I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.